Hello and welcome to Mistakes Were Made. We are a channel that is documenting our progress with debt reduction and eventual elimination. Today we are going to do our cash stuffing for the envelopes for the first pay period of June. So we're going to just jump right in and see if we can't do one of these in under like 20 minutes. Make no promises, but we'll see. So what are we working with? We've got 100, 200, 300, 50, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 5, 600, 5, 610, 611, $612. So we'll go ahead and get these all nice and sorted out. Perfect. There we go. All right, so for those of you who are new, welcome. Those who have seen some of our videos before, welcome back. We do not cash stuff every single one of our categories every pay period. We have some that are cash stuffed during the first pay period, like we are in right now, some in the second, and then some that are funded during both of the pay periods. So to that end, AAA does not get funded during this pay period, but birthdays do, and it gets $12. So let's see, what are we working with here? We've got 50, 70, 81, 82, 83, $84. And today is the 2nd of June. And you can't see, but I was writing that down. So if you watched our previous video that came out, we are doing a double header today as far as filming is concerned. I am doing both the May 16th through 31st recap, which would have been the last video that we put out. And then of course, today we are doing our cash stuffing. We also are doing car maintenance, which gets $100. So we're at 100, 200, 300, 400, 50, 70, 95. So 495. We have a bit of a ways to go to get to our envelope maximum. If we were to get to $1,200 without having to take any money out, then we would not fund this any longer until there was a cost that required us to take money from it. And then, I don't think we've really come up with an idea on what we would do if we're in that scenario, how we would reallocate that money. My guess is any extra would then go to probably to debt, but maybe we would want to see about getting a little bit ahead in one of the other categories. We'll have to kind of make that decision if we get close to having that situation come up. Christmas, we do not fund. Clothing, we do not fund. Dining out, we do fund. It is going to be $50. And as you can see, it is bone dry, and that is because we are absolutely taking our opportunities to have enjoyable experiences, despite the fact that we are budgeting to get out of debt. We have made the decision to allocate money in the budget to entertainment type things, Some may not decide to do that. They may want to have as much money available for debt reduction as possible, and more power to them. We wanted to keep some sense or semblance of fun and entertainment available to us. So we made the decision that that was important to our budget, and we have put it in there. And so far, we're able to do that. If something were to change and we needed to make an adjustment, then, we do have that opportunity to say, okay, well, we are going to reduce the amount that we're going to put into dine out and entertainment, or we're going to eliminate it completely. And that might give us the monetary adjustment to meet the new situation that we're trying to deal with. It's kind of hard to say if, what a future scenario might be where we would have to go that route, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't happen. But at least for right now, we are budgeting money to go to these types of categories, and we are utilizing them as well. So for entertainment, it also gets $50. And for those who are new and are thinking, well, why do you have a separate one for dine out and for entertainment? Aren't those the same thing? We are treating them as separate. So, you could go somewhere for entertainment and not eat anything, or you could go out to eat and it's not necessarily an entertainment scenario. So dining out, that money is for the food side of things. Entertainment is for other things like the cost of tickets or fees or something like that for an event that you might go to. Garden is going to get $25. And you may have noticed in dine out and entertainment that we didn't have a card. That is because they are categories that we do not roll over. So let me write this down. We've got $20, $40, $5, $50 in garden and yard. Dining out, entertainment, gas, and groceries are the four categories we have that we do not roll the money over month, pay period after pay period. Dining out and entertainment, those are monthly paid. So we put $50 in each of those. That has to last us the entirety of the month. Gas and groceries, those get funded based on the pay period. So at the end of a pay period, so for example, the end of the May 2nd pay period, any money that's left over in gas, we will not be rolling over. We will be putting it aside to use for something else. So we are going to refund gas, as in put more money in, not, take money away. So it gets $100. Gifts does not get any money this pay period, but giving does get $5. And we have $5, $10, $15. Groceries. Oh, we didn't have any money left for that one. Groceries gets $200. I think. Oh, you know what? I goofed up because gas is actually supposed to get $250s. So we'll just tuck these $250s in here. I'll just pretend that I did this right the first time. Okay. So groceries gets $200. And we allocate $100 per month or per week for groceries. And again, if there were any any money left over at the end of the pay period for both gas and for groceries, then that money we would take out and we would renew what was going to go in with the new pay period. Health gets $10. We did have to reduce this a fair amount, though I didn't note it on here because I was ridiculously sick. If you watched some of our videos from earlier in the month, I know I sounded pretty gross. I felt pretty gross, believe me. 10, 20, 30. So we ended up having to buy a fair amount of meds. Oh, but I am feeling way better. I think I sound much better. I will say, you know, it's interesting. When I first wake up, I don't feel as great. My throat will hurt some, and sometimes my nasal passage hurts a little bit, and there may be a little bit of stuffiness. But, you know, after about an hour, things kind of settle out. So I end up feeling much better. Okay, then we've got household, which gets $25. So we have 20, 40, 5, 50. Unfortunately, some of these things that we are cash stuffing right now are probably going to be emptied out really quickly because maybe not fully emptied out, but we do have costs that we've incurred and we need to pay using our cash envelopes for those types of things. For example, one of our dogs, he's got something going on with his ears, and he's been really itchy the last month or two. And so we went and purchased some more ear stuff and some different shampoos and things like that to see if we can do something to help him feel a little bit better. So we'll be taking some stuff out of the pets item, which we haven't actually come across yet during this. And I think there was something else that we need to, I think we might have to actually delve into the household because we have filters for our refrigerator that we had to get new ones for. So license and fees gets $15. And this is my birthday month, so I had the joy of going to the DMV to go get my license. So that is now done. I am glad. And I have to say, I've got to give kudos to the DMV location that I went to. Because I was getting a real ID, so that meant I had to get my picture taken again so that they could put that silly star on there. And so I had to bring like a copy of my birth certificate and other ID and whatever. That required an appointment. So, you know, I set the appointment up. I got there at 2:06 p.m. because my appointment was at 2:10. I was out of there, get this, 2:14. I was done and heading to my car at 2:14. 8 minutes. Can you believe that? I don't think I have ever been in and out of a DMV that quickly. I was shocked. I was pleased. Oh, it went so smoothly. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. They did a fantastic job. I was very excited about that. So we've got 20, 30, 45. That said, the cost of the license did end up being, $84. So we did drop money from our license bucket. But of course, the good thing is I'm not going to have to renew that license for quite some time now. So the only license costs I have now are for my business license, which it costs $100 1 year and then $150 the next year. And that's just because I have one business license under one name, and then I have like an alias or secondary thing, and so that costs an additional $50 every other month or every other year. So there is a great chance that we will make it to this $250 with the amounts that we are funding this. We'll see before we need to actually dole out the $100. At the same time, even if we don't get to the 250, once we get to the 100, when we have to pay out the 100, then we'll have an entire another year before we need to pay out more money again, since it is a once a year sort of thing. So there is a possibility that we will be able to fund this to its entirety and then stop having to fund it for at least a little period of time. But there we go. Licenses, hooray. I'm so glad that that is all done. Miscellaneous, we're gonna move that aside. Pets, we do not do this pay period. What is this? Oh, this is Prime. I'll be honest, I do not remember why Prime owes gas $1, but apparently Prime owes gas $1. So we'll keep that in mind. Savings, we don't touch this. So next is taxes, and taxes gets $20. We may have to re-look at the taxes just because we have had a few more sales than I was kind of thinking we were going to have for the Etsy shop. So I need to make sure that we are contributing enough to this bucket for it to make sense, at least how I'm calculating it, as to how much we might be charged for taxes, you know, next year. So we are at 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 75, 76, 77, $177. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. I don't think we're off by a lot, but I definitely want to be prepared. Okay, so that is all of our standard cash envelopes. We also have our longer term goal, which right now is the junk removal and dump. Let me add to here, $523, $100 transfer. So that puts us at $350 for that. Initially, I was going to say any extra money we have left over, let's put in here, but this is only a couple of dollars. So, and you know, I am a firm believer of it, you know, every little bit counts. So this is not a backing away from that, but I think I am going to just put this in our miscellaneous envelope, and then if we happen to have an extra cost, for example, last weekend or last week when Mr. M went grocery shopping, he ended up having a cost of $100.30. So that was a little bit over our budget. So, you know, if we'd had an extra dollar available, that might have, you know, been a different situation. Not that that was a huge big deal that we went over by that much, but you know, we like to try and stick to the budgets as closely as possible. So we're going to go ahead and do that instead of putting the money in here. Because we do have these auto transfers, which are funding this for the most part, there will be another one on June 6th or June 8th, and that will get us to $450, which will put us right in striking distance of our goal. And so at that point, we'll need to make a decision. We'll need to decide, is this $500? Do we think that is going to be enough? And if not, do we want to change the goal to a 600, 750, something like that? So that is a discussion that Mr. M and I are going to have and kind of come up with a plan. I know he is chomping at the bit to get some of this junk out of here. And I do not blame him. Our back patio, if you saw during our garden, our garden tour, there may have been, some brief glimpses. You could see that it's just got a bunch of garbage all over the place. So definitely things need to be cleaned up, and we want to get that done as soon as possible. So for now, oh my goodness, this is all falling down. We are good with where we are at for this. We're almost to another goal, and so that will also mean we will need to pick another item that we might want to pursue. And really right now, I'm kind of leaning towards one of those automatic kitty litter cat box things. I don't know if any of you out there have had one of those, used them, but having 4 cats, and they're all indoor cats because we live in an area that have a lot of coyotes, and we have actually experienced finding the remains of a neighborhood cat in our yard because a coyote got to it. But having 4 cats, it is a little bit of a nightmare keeping up on the litter boxes. And my thought is, if those electric or automatic ones really work as well as the ads show them, then it might help reduce some of the pressure of that constant need to be cleaning things out as often as we're having to. Obviously you'll still have to empty things and stuff like that, but at least we can hope that the automatic aspect of it will get to the providing of cleaner litter much more quickly. And maybe we can reduce the actual number of litter boxes that we have because it is being cycled so much sooner. So yeah, if any of you have any experience with one of those and would like to share, please note that down below. I would love to get the opinion of somebody who actually owns one of those, and the experience that you've had. If you had, bad experience with a particular company, but a good experience with a different one, that is great information for us to have as well. I don't know if that's going to be what our next goal will actually end up being, but I'm pushing for that a little bit just because it can be a lot, and it would be nice if we can reduce some of the issues and stress surrounding that situation. So all right, well, that is the end. We have made it, and we've gotten everything stuffed. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If there are any things you want to comment on, feedback you'd like to provide, just want to say hi, please note those below. As always, please consider subscribing if you haven't, and if you'd like to give us a like, we absolutely appreciate that. All right, well, we'll see you in the next one.